Oh, snap, we're live. Oh, well, you know what? Guess what? We're live. I don't know if anybody can hear us, but I guess we're live and we're back. So consistently inconsistent as inconsistently inconsistent as ever. Dude, we're so back. Like the NFL's back. We're 2-0. Right, Leighton? Probably not because there was a time where we never did this. But other than that, yes. Michael, what's it like to be 2-0? Wait. I mean, you know what? I don't know how much input you have to give on football right now. Do not sit like we did not. Do not act like we were not part of the slander, sir. That that is a lie. I have been in your presence. I'm talking like 2.5 years ago, sir. All right. I was ready to go. I'm not gonna lie. I was ready for Joe to go. And now we're in the presence of greatness. And that's great spelled with an 8, sir. Clearly. It's the greatest decision in NFL history because we have the greatest football player that's ever touched the football field wielding the football for us. No. I'm talking about Mark Andrews. This week's Consistently Inconsistent, sponsored by White Claw. There's no laws when you're drinking claws. On Sundays. Hmm? White Claws, his address is 8675 309 Mormon Way Lane. He's got crystal blue meth, but no White Claws. So let's just start off with the NFL. Let's just run through this. So my biggest takeaway right now, we got to talk about Antonio Brown. Probably one of the weirdest, long-running, long-winded. I don't even know how to explain this. This guy did everything from not knowing what helmet he wanted to not knowing whether or not he was going to even play football again, and now he's the starting wide receiver one for the New England Patriots. Anybody care to explain how he's still playing football? Correct. Derrick Rose. It's Derrick Rose. Yeah. Derrick Rose. I mean, so from what I've gathered, this is like this case with this woman has been in litigation for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. So you're looking at this from the perspective of somebody who's like definitely done with this whole situation. And now she got married last weekend, and this is the weekend that all this news comes out. Like, all of this is just like super suspect in my mind. I think he's probably going to be done by the end of this week. He might get one more game out, but if this lady comes into the NFL office and they interview some other people and it starts to get, obvious that this dude did some shitty stuff, the commissioner exempt list is first, and then once the, decision's been made, it'll probably be like a 6 to 8 game suspension. Yeah, but this guy just dragged their name through the mud for like a month. This guy made the NFL look like a joke for a month about a helmet. So I think this is about a little bit more. I think this is their opportunity to start to make it right. Because I would say that this is the largest scale sexual assault case or sexual harassment, sexual assault case that has come across the NFL's desk since the Me Too movement has really started pushing. I don't think I'm wrong, right? Most of the other stuff started happening was pre Harvey Weinstein, right? If we want to, go big scope. That was right. That was like 2005, 2006, right? Exactly. So nope. Right. This is his trainer. This is not somebody that he lives with. This is not somebody that he is on a, like, he might have been on a first name, probably was on a first name basis with this person. And unfortunately, I just don't see a way how today this dude could have, nobody's gonna link what he did last month to his mental sanity. Nobody. I feel like that conversation happened for 12 hours on ESPN, and then it was pushed to the side. Well, I understand, but the NFL is stick to sports. This is ESPN. This isn't The Ringer yet. I hope I'm right too, or else Michael, really not going to say what Michael did to me in light of the things, but. So, obviously, it's what I really want and don't want at the same time to happen, because this is just going to cause a bunch of other stuff to come out. There's no way that Bill Belichick didn't not Bill Belichick, but that his agent didn't just do all that himself. I feel like his agent had some major play in getting them to, oh shit, sorry, I resized the video on my screen and then it messed up the stream, but I fixed it. It just feels like that guy was so far deep into the Pats pocket for years with Gronk That there's no way this guy wasn't like, this is a terrible situation for my client. I'm going to move. And who's like, that's not illegal. I don't think that's illegal for an agent to make a decision unless he was like, yo, Bill, would you guys want him? While you're in a meeting for somebody else, while you're talking about a player who's on a contract with another team. I don't know the legality of that. Right. Yeah. Well, apparently they tried to trade for him from the Steelers in March initially, and the Steelers weren't going to trade him to the Patriots. I think that's a very important thing in all this. I don't think a lot of people knew because this was all still closed. I think a lot of this is only coming to light because of the stage in their litigation that they're in, that now this can become public. I think they were in a privatized. She was probably, from what I've read and from what the research that I've done, this woman asked for a payout. She asked to get paid off, and it was $2 to $3 million. AB said fuck you and moved on. Right, and moved on. And he's like, all right, this isn't going to be my problem anymore. But guess what, dude? It's your problem. You should have just paid her the money. We wouldn't be sitting here talking about it right now, and I wouldn't have traded AB to Michael. I did, which thank you very much. But my question is, what does this guy think is right and wrong? That's what I'm talking about, dude. His mental compass, when he gets to that point, and from what we've heard leaking out of the Steelers locker room, that Mike Tomlin should have been, reverse awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for the last 6-7 years for somehow dealing with this psycho. Like, and all these Steelers players saying, you guys don't know the half of it. So if this dude's been like this all the time, I guess it's manageable, but not to the point where you now have, the law involved. Yeah. Here you go, dude. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me how this guy can get away with acting like this but being so talented. And then you're like, well, imagine if he wasn't this crazy. And then my negative side goes to, well, he probably wouldn't be this talented. I mean, he is definitely, like, he has supplanted T.O., all those guys. Anybody that says that AB is not the most diva-esque receiver we've ever seen in the league now, what are we talking about? This is a whole new world. This is a combination. Yes. Right. Those, and you can only, give a guy so much that he does or doesn't deserve. And it's hard for these guys to not look at AB and be like, well, shit, when he's on the field, he produces. So what am I supposed to do? Right. Remember, he was like behind Hines Ward, like, came in. Yeah, well, he was remember he was a higher like I feel like the Steelers always have this. The Steelers have this cycle of receivers where they have two that are definitely rosterable in fantasy. One is definitely going to get more production than the other, but the second one, it's almost like the Sith. There's one to hold the power, and then there's one to crave it. There's the Emperor, and then there's Darth Vader. That's pretty good comparison for the Steelers wide receiver situation because Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, Juju Smith-Schuster and James Washington. I feel like James Washington's going to be that guy coming for Juju's crown, especially with Mason Rudolph at the helm at QB now. Yeah, TJ Houshmandzadeh. Like, they were rolling. Leighton and I know. Sorry. TJ was the Chad. Right. Or, well, I guess Chad was the TJ. TJ was first. And then Chad? They kind of together. Same struggle of going 1-1 against the Bengals for like 7 years in a row. He will this year. That is such a sad truth. Bill Belichick is literally out here calling timeouts with 7 seconds left to set defenses so they don't score junk timeout or touchdowns. Have we ever seen anything like this? They literally might go through the entire month of September and not allow a touchdown. It's fathomable. Look, Leighton, you need to go to the bookie and ask for the odds on the Patriots not allowing any points for the rest of this month. That's impossible. It was 20, wasn't it? It was 20 by game time. It's insane. I played a little guess the lines this week by myself. You guys want to see how I did? It was pretty fun. So I just like shot the lines out at myself. I was the only one that I got right was the Bills Bengals line of 5.5. That's all I got. It's at 23. It was at 13 last night. I said 13. I said 13. So it's at 23. That's insanity. I don't think so. Oh, they ran Wildcat. Maybe Antonio Brown's more closer to Michael Jackson than he is Kanye. I don't think Kanye ever leaned so far into the illegal. Oh. Tough look for my guy that I don't know. Let's talk on for one moment. Oh, definitely why nobody cares. So let's think about this. If the Ravens are the Ravens like a top 2, 3 team in the AFC, which then translates to a top 5 team in the NFL right now? I'm not going to look at power rankings. I'm not going to buy you stuff. I'm going to take a shot in the dark here and say that the Ravens cover the spread. Because right now it's 6.5. And I think this is either going to be a Ravens blowout or a close game. I think there is a strong possibility that we can lock down these, besides Sammy Watkins, second to third rate receivers. It's got to be like 64. Okay, it's got to be like 64 and a half, 70. Easily. Which, the teams that they've played are not a good test of defense. So this is... They're not bad. They're not bad. I will give them... Their secondary is not bad, but I am not, I'm not going to give them all the money in the world. They got DJ. Who else they got back there? They were messing with us a little bit. DJ was man, he's so good. That was so awkward. Oh, yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, but even then, all it took was a little zone, and Marquise just snuck right in there and cut right under those dudes and tore them up. My X Factor, Travis Kelce versus the Baltimore linebackers. That will decide the game. If the linebackers can make a true impact on just a couple, maybe 2 third down pass breakups across the middle, just a couple plays like that. Raven, I said Raven. Leighton, let's play. Put the helmets on. Put us on. Let's go. He would get eaten. Yeah, because he had a big head. And I mean that in a respectful way. He has a lot of talent. So therefore, there were some times and some moments of some situations where you sometimes feel like the game plan doesn't apply to you. Well, guess what, bud? That's when you get blown out. And that happened a lot. A lot. Anything else in the NFL sticking out to you guys right now? Okay, at the end of an era. It's over. If you find me these odds that Tom Brady would have outlasted Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, who else we got? Don't say the one. The one is coming at the end. Who else we lost last couple of years? Besides Andrew Luck, but Andrew, if you all those guys, and then you tap Andrew Luck at the end of that, you're a madman. Like, you know, these are insane times that we live in. God bless Phillip Rivers throwing that ball to my boy Austin Eckler. Ooh, 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 ooh. Number 1 running back in fantasy, baby. No, you don't. He got a rushing touchdown where he leaped over the entire pile at the goal line. That was nice. But besides that, everything else came in the passing game. Which, like, yeah, that's I dropped Jaren Jackson. That's not his name. Is it Justin Jackson? Justin Jackson. Right, he's probably the most efficient third down runner in the NFL. In terms of, you know, if you wanted to math it out, he's probably pretty efficient. I probably only want to say one more thing about the league, and it's the real parity this year. I had a thought before the season started, and it was that a team like the Saints were so bound to be bad, and we couldn't allow ourselves to think it. But the way that sports works, you could just feel it. Like, Leighton, you're the closest one to that city. How long were Saints fans talking about the call? They're still talking about it, and now there's another one. Like, why don't you shut the fuck up and start talking about football? And start talking about your blown coverages. And start talking about how every single time one of these calls have come through your team, unfortunately, you have had an opportunity to do something about it. Every time the league has screwed you, you, the team, have had an opportunity to show that they made the wrong call. And they failed every time. It's unfortunate for the Drew Brees injury. It's unfortunate that they had another bad call called back with that Cameron Jordan run. Was that Cameron Jordan? They had the run back. It might be the greatest NFL Films moment ever this week. Wait for it to come out. They got him on audio saying, "So I just ran 80 yards for nothing?" And it was perfect. Really, like, you feel bad, but they got blown. Right, they got blown out. Drew Brees got hurt. All these things are like, you're arguing about the wrong problems. You know what you guys should be arguing? Put Taysom Hill in the game. It's 2019. The dude can run and can barely throw. He's a quality quarterback. I don't think so, sir. They're lucky to get 4. They're lucky to go 4-12 this year. They're still lucky to go 4-12 this year because I think that team still sucks with Drew Brees. I'm just saying, that's the team with a lot more going on in that locker room than just football. And eventually, that shit starts to seep through because your reporters start wondering what sells papers, what sells clicks. And you know what sells clicks in New Orleans, Leighton? Complaining about the call. And you know what that leads to? Players getting asked about that shit. They get sick and fed and tired. They get sick. They get totally sick of it. They're over it. And they're like, screw this. I'm done. Like, eventually, people just want to play football. We got to get back to just playing football. You know who's playing football? The Baltimore Ravens. Right, Michael? How about those Gamecocks, boys? They covered, right? Round of applause, everybody. Everybody. Round of applause for the Gamecocks for covering the spread. There was a moment at the end of the second where you were like, oh shit, this could happen. I'm not even going to talk about college football officiating because as Will Muschamp said best, I'll be fine for the rest of my life if I comment on that. Goodbye. Yeah, and we're not sitting here complaining about it. And South Carolina media really isn't complaining about it. They got blown out the rest of the game and they acknowledge that. Yeah. I mean, look, there's officiating issues all across sports. And we can have a broader conversation about this, but I believe that it comes down to one very important specific thing. These major leagues have stripped the full-time job title from these referees. This is no longer these referees' only source of income. This is now their side jobs. This is their side gigs. They're not training every second of every day to be a ref. They're not watching game film every second of the week because it's the only thing they have to do. I think that's trickling down. I'm not saying that's the main reason. I'm just saying from a top-down perspective, they are putting less effort into the art of officiating, giving more power to the people that are not on the field, and taking away powers from the guy with the actual whistle who controls the game, or should be controlling the game. They've been paid more than they have been recently. Which I don't think had a resolution that favored the referees, if I remember correctly. The NFL kind of came with we can get anybody to wear a zebra shirt. Okay, you make $205,000 a year to be an NFL referee. I'm going to shut my mouth now. My point stands. Yes, okay, let's take some positives from that rant. Positive number one, they should be paid full-time. You should be paid full-time because then these guys are carrying in the offseason. They're not, I'm sure they're all working out because that's the main thing these refs do now. They got to stay in shape. They got to be ready to go. You got to show off the gun show, got to get ready to go. You got to make sure that these guys are also paying attention to just all the new shit. Like, there's new stuff happening constantly. You guys aren't being heard on the video. You guys keep talking. Well, if I'm So I got good news and I got bad news. Nobody can hear you guys on the stream. Whole time, guy and A just sent me a message. Michael told me that the window capture was going to capture the audio, so I trusted him. And it wasn't. I don't know. I've been talking to Ghost, bro. Yeah, we might have to cut this so I can figure out how this works. We might have to do this later this week. You guys got another day this week you can do this? Friday, maybe? Okay. Okay, I can't do Thursday. I have a soccer game I gotta work. I'm also filming the women's basketball first practice of the year for CFC on Thursday. Okay. Um, can we do Sunday morning? Do our own NFL kickoff? Let's do hour 15 before kickoff for 45 minutes and got 30 minutes before kickoff. And I'll try to figure out this OBS thing and try to make it right. All right, boys. Well, let me